Hello, and this is Tom from BlackToad Studio, and here I am with my long put off probably biggest project I've had going on for many years, and one that I took a small break from maybe about a year or two ago in sort of seriousness. I've done the old model now and then, but nothing on the scale that I used to. So essentially it's my Black Templars, and as you can see here, this is what I've got. I thought I'd lay it all out so you can have a look at it. It's quite hard to fit in because I can't step very far back in this room, so I'm going to sort of go through this gradually from each side, just give a little view of what I've got so you can see a few things here. I'll go through a bit more detail in a second. So anyway, now that my Grey Knights are done, I always intended to make this my next focus. So essentially, I've got quite a few things to do on here. Not all models will need fully doing, but there's going to be definitely some touch-ups to do. I've got some stuff I need to undo. I think when I first started I made a bit of a mistake in spraying with the kind of a gloss finish or hard, I think it was the hard coat stuff on some of these models. So they probably aren't going to change too much on the grounds that getting that sorted out, I don't think I'm going to be able to get that off without a lot of effort. However, those models aren't too bad, so I'll basically do the bits that I can. But essentially, just to give you a little thing, kind of a tour around this. So over here, I've got my flyers. Got a couple of Storm Tanners and a Storm Raven. They're in kind of a basic painted state at the moment, kind of just two-tone colours, maybe three with the metals in there. But yeah, they won't take too long to finish off because I think they're quite easy to paint, to be honest. Lots of flat surface on them. And then the two things at the back here are these are basically the last two models I actually purchased. Were the assault rams, and these were direct from forgeworld when we were up there for our big game. So they are finally assembled. I really like the look of them, and I have finally decided that they'll be Black Templar ones. So I'm hoping to get them done up in the next few weeks. I must admit they were a real pain to assemble in certain aspects. I managed to, unfortunately, glue my hands together pretty much in the end because I didn't notice a bit of a drip at the back, and it got down my left hand, and I managed to stick my couple of fingers together. That's all sorted out, but it was those things that I hadn't done in quite a while, so I was like, damn, and had to get that sorted out. But other than that was quite, the usual scrubbing. So as we progress down here to the front, I've got a couple of tanks that I bought. These are from quite a long time ago. Even before I did my guard, I kind of wanted a couple of super heavies for my army, and these were the two that I could afford at the time. So I had a stormsword and a stormlord. So the storm sword on the right here, that's the more painted and more decorated one. It's a little bit dusty, and I had to give that a bit of dust off. But yeah, there's not too much I need to do on that. I just think I need to sort of just freshen it up a bit and do a bit more detail that I want to do on it. Stormlord's a little bit more basic. Essentially, the weird thing was this one was started a little bit after the storm sword, but it was when the paint changed from Games Workshop came over, and I remember doing this and sort of looking at it going, not quite right. But now that I'm using Army Painter for metals, it should be easy to rectify back to sort of a similar look essentially. So I wanted them to look the same. But yeah, I really like those two models, so looking forward to using them in some games at some point. Then as we come down to the front here, I've got a couple of Predators. I'm probably going to leave them as is, they're not too bad. I might do a little bit more weathering on them, just sort of maybe a wash or two to bring out some of the metals. Also fix the storm bolts on them, because I seem to be having a bad run with the storm bolts. I seem to be breaking them off. I think the trip over here wasn't particularly brilliant for them. Then I had a couple of eBayed Vindicators here. The one on the right I had to do some major repairs on because the person who I bought it from had advertised it as nice and the pictures looked okay. Then when I got it here, I found he put the tracks on all the wrong way around, so I had to break them all off, redo them, and the paint job on it wasn't fantastic, and I also was missing a hatch, but I found one of them, which was good. One on the left was absolutely fine when I got it, so I didn't have to do much with that. Then another forgeworld purchase here, which is the I'm trying to remember the name of this one now. So it was the basics. It's actually just a Vindicator with a laser destroyer array on it. So I bought that a little while ago. I've had it assembled quite a while. I've left the front bit off to make it a little bit easier to paint. So looking forward to getting that done. and then a hunter back here, which I did a long time ago actually, a couple of Christmases ago. I think it was given as a gift by Dom and his wife for my Christmas present. So that's been waiting a while to get painted. I hadn't really had a use for it until sort of recently. So it kind of it got built and then hadn't really got around to painting it. And so now that there's quite a few more flyers knocking about in some of the battle reports we're doing, I think it's definitely worth getting sorted out. Then a little bunch of HQs here. I've got Grimoldus and his 3 servitors, one of my favourite HQs so far. And I've got Hellbrick here. Unfortunately, I don't know where his sword went, so I've nicked a Nemesis Force sword from a Grey Knight sprue, which I think actually works just quite nicely actually on the model as a kind of a variation of the sword he's had. So hopefully that'll look alright. And I've got my Empress Champion here and a couple of other things that used to be marshals essentially, so I'll get them sorted out, and also a chaplain with a jump pack, which I'm quite looking forward to putting with my Vanguard with jump packs. And then moving over to the back here, got a bike squad at the back there. They're all pretty much done, bar 3 new ones that I had. One with a broken sword there. There's an apothecary in there as well, because I'm going to run a kind of a command squad on bikes at some point, which I quite like the idea of. So yeah, that'd be quite interesting to get sorted out. And also I did do a leader on there with a storm shield. Quite a powerful unit actually, quite difficult to kill because of the feel no pain jink and all that, and the storm shield is invulnerable as well if it needed it. So yeah, but also it can be used as a normal bike squad, so that's quite good. And then in front of that, I've got all my terminators. I basically set on 10 of each, 10 standard terminators and 10 assault terminators. They just need pretty much. I think I'm going to be taking the shoulder pads off some of them, redoing them, because I think I left some of the originals on there which don't look quite right with the aesthetic. And also just maybe freshening up the ones that the hard coat hasn't hit too hard. I quite like the Thunderhand ones in the end, because I did actually get the storm shields I did a little while ago, about a year or so ago. I bought them from forgeworld and I think they look brilliant, and you can see the difference in the paint standard on them. And then moving further over to the right here, got some Centurion Devastators. That was one of the odd ones I did. Must have been about a year and a half ago or so. So yeah, I think I'm reasonably happy with them. They look alright. And then behind them is my Dreadnought collection. So yeah, we're running 3 forgeworld ones at the back here. So we've got a Contemptor, a deredeo and the Relic Leviathan, which you may have seen in a couple of battle reports. And also in front of them we've got 3 standard dreadnoughts. The arms are swappable. I've got the las cannons and missile launchers if I want to do ranged ones. Then a invulnerable one over there on the left. Then 2 ironclads. I'm probably going to get another one of those at some point just so I can run them in a squadron of 3. So I do like the ironclads. I think they're one of my favourite dreadnoughts. Quite powerful as well actually, for getting around the board and not getting completely obliterated. Coming down the front over on the left, got lots of Crusader squads. So got a couple of bolter ones here on the left. I'm probably going to get another heavy weapon in the front one just to match it up with the one at the back, because using the plasma cannon. And then over to the right here we've got a couple more Crusader squads. These are the close combat ones, so they all got a sword brother, melter gun, and I sort of rotate either a power fist or a kind of power axe in there instead of the heavy weapon, as they're more mobile, so they're much more combat oriented. And also 5 neophytes at the front of each one of them, just to make them into 15-man squads. 16 in the case of the front one, and a couple more here. Bolter squad at the front and another squad at the back there. This has got a sword brother with a power fist and the grav pistol, because this is basically, these are a couple of ones that I did when the new marine stuff came out, because I didn't have any of the new weaponry on these guys. And then over here, a lot of sword. Well, they used to be called sword brethren. Obviously, they don't actually technically exist anymore, except for HQ choices on sergeant choices on some of the Crusader squads. But what I feel I'll do with them now is turn them into on-foot Vanguard veterans. Because they're nice little models. They're not brilliantly posable, but they've got nice special weapons on a lot of them. They do need a lot of work, because they're probably some of them are chipped and some of the paint jobs weren't fantastic. And then just behind them, I've got some Vanguards with jump packs. Looking forward to getting them finished off. I'm probably going to. There's a breakage back there of the lightning claws completely snapped. And I'm going to tone down the special weaponry on them as well, because I remember when I totted up the points on this, it cost more than the Terminator squad, which is not brilliant for trying to fit into smaller games and things like that. And then further over here we have some sternguard veterans. I think I've got about 11 there. So I've got one with a heavy weapon at the back, which I'm going to with a heavy flamer, which I'm hoping to get sorted out. I may go another one in there, another heavy weapon that is, just to sort of round it out and give me a bit more choice if I want it. And then they can either sort of be drop podded in, or using some of the varying transports I've got. So for instance, I've got a razorback, or 2 razorbacks here. I was a bit disappointed that I hadn't done the special panels on this one. I think I can get the side panels off, but the front I don't really want to put the effort into sort of breaking it off, because unless I can get it off easily, I might give it a quick go. But cause it does make it look better, I will admit. It's the same with the Rhino as well. A bit disappointed I didn't do that. I think I didn't have the money for the upgrade kits at the time. So for instance, this one I put the cross on the top. That came out nicely using a little template. Did the job. And then I've got my 3 Land Raiders, 2 Crusaders and 1 Standard. Really like the Crusaders myself. I haven't used them for a while actually. As you can see, one on the left was the old style one with all the metal parts, and on the right was the full plastic one. I kind of like the effect I've got on this. I'm not going to do too much to it. I'm probably going to weather it a bit better, just to give it a little bit of look and bring out the headlights, which is something I never used to do. One at the back, quite happy to have that as it is. It looks, I think I did a bit of a repair job on the las cannons at the back clearly, because they seem to have split apart. Then lastly, got 5 drop pods that I made up a long time ago. I do want them to kind of look like this one here, so I'm going to get the diagram done, design done again. I mean, these ones actually, I managed to get the correct icons on the side of these coming from them, so I might leave them with that and not do the whole cross on them. But they need good dust for starters, and then we can start working on them. So yeah, I mean that's my Templar. I mean, I've got a whole load of them, obviously. Lots of points worth out. What I will do is I will eventually work out how many points that all is, and see what kind of game size I can do. Because it would be cracking to have in a pockets game with every single one of them, obviously. But it's all a question of finding someone who's got a similar point match-up and type of units as well, because a couple of them are quite powerful. But yeah, really, this is one of my biggest kind of projects I've done over the years. Also one of my favourite. I mean, I remember, back when they had their own codex. That's when I first started them, and being quite disappointed when they got rolled into the main one. But with the tactics of their own now, it's not too bad. So I'm reasonably happy. So essentially, over the next few months, this is what I'm going to be concentrating on. Now that I've done my Grey Knights, got to rebase all of the basic models, because I've got the new 32mm ones for them, for the standard Marines. Got to do all Terminator bases, and then Dreadnought bases. So it's a lot of basing to start with, I think. Get that all sorted out, and then I'll start doing some of the paint jobs. I'm probably get everything base coated black that needs redoing as well, which won't take too long. But yeah, so looking forward to it really. Just got to get cracking on with it again, get locked in the room, start painting again. Get back to used doing white and the golds that I did. Get a bit more red in this time as well. I think that's one thing I missed when I originally started. I didn't put much red in, and I think it looks quite good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you at the next update.